Hello there, welcome to Pro Gamer Parent. I'm Rick, and today I want to talk to you about 5 thoughts on devices around your kid. And the first thought is really that the new digital playground is here. I can recommend a great book called The New Childhood by Shapiro. Sorry for not pronouncing your name right. And it's really how to thrive in the digital connected economy. And I think what we forget is just a few generations ago, when I'm quoting the book, there was resistance to sand playboxes. There was resistance to this whole idea that kids should play and how that helps develop the mind and helps develop the body and coordination skills and all that, interaction. It was just, no, they should just get out of sight and wait until they can provide and do the work that matters, which was a whole total definition of the work that matters back then, and a whole different definition of childhood. And just right now, a lot of people resist this digital joy that exists in computer games play, exists in devices and stuff like that. But what we're forgetting is this is the future. Devices are here to stay, not just in a phone or in a tablet, but they're everywhere. They're Internet of Things, sensors everywhere, cameras in devices you can't even imagine right now, and smart homes. And so devices are here to stay, and kids need to learn to play with them, to develop their brain, their skills, so that they will know how to be effective and do the work that matters in the new economy. But also, even more importantly, how to protect themselves in this new world that they're learning the new world. We can't teach them the new world because we haven't lived it. I myself grew up playing mostly, starting my play journey in the sandbox. Of course, we also had to, I'm talking about the second thing then, embrace the drawbacks of devices. The number one drawbacks is that it's new. We don't know what it's doing to us right now. We don't know what society, how it will be shaped by this new phenomenon with having Internet of Things everywhere. Yes, I'm not just talking about the phone in your pocket that makes everyone on your subway go like a zombie. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the life that your kid will experience when everything they wear will be connected. Everything at home will know what's going on. That's what they are right now training themselves to meet. And we can't train them there. But I think it's very, very important that we're present there, that we help them see what's beyond it. Help them see a lot of things that's easily forgotten with the play state when we're just doing it because it's fun. And I also think when we're talking about the bad thing, I've talked about sitting still, for example. I think that's a huge problem, that we're sitting still too much. I get sick when I see the ad that shows kids playing, shows animal playing, and they're all physically active, and then you see 10 kids sitting still doing thumbs play on a device. That sickens me. But I still think we need it. We can't just say no. We still need it, but we need to help them see the balance. And the balance is not screen time saying no, get off it. Because if you're not training yourself to be physically active, like I've also talked about the strength of the brain when you're physically active, we have to talk about the benefits in their play, in their status games, in whatever it is, for being physically active. And we have to take the initiative there, because it's easily happens that they sit too still. So how can we take the initiative to help them move more? And I won't go out into details because I have plenty of casts and videos about that, and there's plenty out there too. So, but sitting still for sure. But also remember, it's a very young thing. I remember when they come and they were talking about these thumbs. When people had tired thumbs at work because people were texting with their thumbs and not simply overnight they started to do things they'd never done before, and that is taxing for the body. A lot of people talk about necks. Kids sitting in front of their tablet for a very long time with this. It's not good. So breaking it up for sure. I'm not saying, and once again, I personally believe we need to have them there playing. We need to encourage their digital play and embrace the good and the bad, that they could be having playmates on the other side of the globe. That's wonderful, and might have a dark side as well. So we do need to be present with them, and in whatever device, once again, don't underestimate where you will have a device connecting to something else. But also I want to talk about more even dangerous things about the devices, and that's actually the apps they play. Just like when you were playing with say a stick that could transform you into a knight in shining armor and a sword. You can use devices for so many cool things. Be present and hear when are they actually doing that to be creative, to express an important idea like narrating a story or teaching someone else to do things. When are they actually using it in something that you're very subjectively judge as beneficial for themselves or others? Building, once again, knowledge for that future by enriching the knowledge of others, or by building something they're sharing for others. But also, once again, the device, just like that stick, can have a bad side as well. Playing with weapons and stuff like that I personally don't endorse. Apps, you're watching this on YouTube, for example. I think I've had a video before where I talk YouTube and platforms like it, probably Facebook, where you're probably on right now, that algorithm drives you to the extreme. So the device might be safe if you install an app designed for kids your age, designed for whatever. If you're talking about, I love Scratch Junior, for example, and stuff like that, teaching them to program. Lightbot is another app that I really recommend, that teaches us not to play with a robot, but it's also teaching us the fundamentals of programming and using procedures and stuff like that. So I don't want to make this too long a video, sorry. So I think I've spoken about that before. But what they're actually touching on the device really matters. If you find that they're going on YouTube, which I personally don't recommend for a toddler at all, because they will find the extreme. They will click a few clicks and then suddenly they're watching something that a toddler shouldn't watch. And the YouTube feeds on that, just like it's feeding on you right now, encouraging you to nudge by nudge. If you start by looking at jogging, you will eventually end up looking at marathons and ultra marathons after that, and finding the extremes, because it's hooking us like that. So you can't just look at a device and go like they're all the same, because they're not. What they put on it and where they're actually clicking matters. And also like that, help them uninstall any apps that they're not actively playing at right now. Remind them that even if it's not, they're not playing it, it's probably still logging you. It's probably still saving a lot of that activity. So uninstall it, ask them. And I think this is also part of being present with what are they using their device for. And you as well, because you're part of this family. And then it brings us to smart homes and Internet of Devices and Internet of Things and all that. There's devices everywhere. If you have a smart home, you probably have cameras connected to the internet where people can log on and tweak and do things. You're probably not aware of it, but your, say, robot vacuum cleaner that wonderful thing. I'm not saying you should get rid of it. It probably has a sensor or a camera on it that is monitoring what's going on, because so it can do its job so good. But what we're not thinking about is if it's a camera, it can get hacked and share things about our toddler or ourselves that we totally don't want. Or even if it does, if it only has sensors, so it's not bumping into things or it's still mapping a lot of things. Are there humans present, or how big a room is it? It's logging a lot of things that can become a vulnerability. And or if a thief knows there's people in the room or not, it's usually Internet of Things, smart homes, usually rely on a very low grade of security. So we, once again, as parents, we have to guard this new digital kingdom that our kids are playing in, because yeah, they can't know, but we can help them see it, and they need to know this, because that's going to be their world. The digital security will have to become part of everything they do. So do educate yourself. You will have to need to teach them. And in short, what I'm saying, the tip number 5 is the device is not your friend. Your kid probably think their phone is their friend, but it's not. I'm a phone owner, I loan my phone, I'm not surrendering my phone, that's not what I'm saying. But we have to be aware of that the devices aren't here for our sake. The devices were built by a company building a platform that then has apps on it that build their own things. So choose well what you turn off in your phone or in your device or in your tablet. Disable everything like location if you don't really need it. Disable everything about ad sharing and whatever you see if you don't really need it, because once again, that is an asset other companies are building up on your kid in this digital playground that they're playing in right now. But soon everything will be merged. I read a book maybe 10 years ago, I don't remember, but it's called Virtual Competition. And that book claimed that all the data collected on the web ends up at 7 entities. 7 entities. Imagine the 360 they have on your kid and yourself. And now I'm talking even if you disable cookies and do a lot of things to not surrender more data, then a few sensors will pick you up online or in an app, or what you're using, what you're not using. Remember, if you have something sending things all the time, they will also know when you're not there and build a heat map on that. And you don't know, eventually that data might be not healthy for your kid. So do what you can to remind them that the device is not their friend. And even if you've chosen the platform on, say, the phone that you trust, you probably, it's a lot to read the fine prints, but it varies a lot between the apps they're using. It might be well worth paying for an app instead of having it ad-based, because those ads is collecting a lot of data. You don't know where that data is ending up. You don't know the problem that's going to mean 10 down the lane when you can't get an insurance for something for your kid, because they have so much data on your kid already, even if you haven't signed or consented for anything. They still have it because the trail has been fine legally wise, ethically perhaps not so. So in short, the new sandbox, the digital play, it's here to stay. It's important, and we have resistance because we don't know what it will mean. But looking back just a few generations, that has already happened, and that turned out fine. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't encourage our kid to not sit still, to not be aware of the newness of it, that we don't know where it's heading. We don't know the cost and the benefits associated with it. So help them move. Physical movement is very important for the biology and the development of the brain. Help them with thumb pains, neck pains. Remind them to move. Chef, in the office workspace, we've known this for a long time. Yet we do nothing about it. 99% of us at least do nothing about it. We know we should. Just like we know we should go train, but we still eat the same and do the same. Help them. For them, the price is going to be tougher, so help them get healthy habits. And the apps on the device is really what matters more than the device themselves. Don't think yes, two devices are the same. It really matters. And personally, get kids off YouTube. And in a nutshell, don't let kids, especially if it's a toddler, be with the device without you having an intention about it. Don't let kids be with the device just so you can have 5 minutes doing the dishes. But once again, don't have, and I'm not saying I'm not a pro, but my experience is, and I can quote a psychologist called Martin Forsberg, who's is Swedish, talks about, well, it's worth giving the toddler the phone and watch on a healthy movie while you're doing the diapers, because if you're fighting too much about it, the fight is also costly for the kid. So use it with intention, but don't overuse it, and that's highly subjective. You don't know what it will. There will never, in a long time, there won't be a recommendation that you can trust. You will have to make up your own mind. In looking at all this, what it seems to be healthy for your kid. Is your kid strong, healthy, full of energy, full of eagerness to learn, full of curiosity, open to physical movement and being outdoors? Or is it like, no, I don't like that? See if you can weave some in. But I grew up 1 hour on the computer, 1 hour outdoor, 1 hour at the computer, 1 hour outdoor. That, I didn't thank my parents back then. I kind of bashed at the door wanting to get in to play my computer games. Now I thank them though. You might probably find the same resistance, but it's worth it. You need to get them active. But also don't lock the door too much, because they need to learn this digital playground. Soon we will have devices connected with interfaces everywhere, and they will run circles around us all days. And that's a good thing. But hopefully we'll help their brain develop and their physical health as well while they're there, and not sacrifice so much digital data just because it's free, just because it's convenient, to unknown tech giants out there that know very well what they're doing with our attention and driving us for their purposes. So enjoy the new digital sandbox and make up your own mind. It's really that very important that you do, because if you're second guessing yourself, if you're doubting, your kid will know, and it's hard to know when it's so new. So with that, I'll leave you. Have a good one, my friend. Take care. Bye bye.